Does your OCD make you fearful of lying? You are not alone. Stay tuned. We'll talk all about it. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist and I make videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And today I want to talk to you about a very common OCD theme, and that is the fear of lying. Do you experience that? OCD loves to glom onto anything it can and make you worry. And a lot of times it makes people worry that they're going to be a bad person, that they might do bad things, that maybe they've done bad things. And one of those bad things is lying. What if what I'm telling them isn't true? What if I really didn't want that? And so it can show up in a couple of different ways. One way is when you are saying something, maybe to soften it, just in case you might be lying, you add a little I guess or I think, right? So maybe a parent or partner or a friend will say to you, hey, do you want spaghetti for dinner? And you say, yeah, I love spaghetti. I think. I love spaghetti, I guess. I think I like spaghetti, right? So you use those words as a compulsion. A compulsion is something you do when you're having an intrusive thought or feeling that grows your OCD. So very much like if I think my hands are dirty and I have OCD and I want to get rid of those germs, I overwash, right? That's the compulsion. When I have an intrusive thought that says, are you sure? You might be lying. That's under the moral OCD theme. Scrupulosity OCD. We have lots of different names for it. But the bottom line is it's an intrusive thought that says, you might be a liar. You're a bad person. Are you sure you're not lying right now? And so the compulsions are subtle. They might be that we're going to say, I guess, I think, maybe, right, after everything I say. Or I may not be able to make a decision. And so somebody might say, do you want this one or this one? And I might think, well, I want that one. Wait a minute, I was just lying. I don't want that one. I want this one. That was a lie. I'm a bad person. No, I want this one. Okay, you want this one? Yeah, I want that one. No, I don't. I'm lying, right? So it can make you second guess literally everything. And I've worked with kids and adults where they can't even answer simple questions because everything eventually out of their mouth feels like it could possibly be a lie. And so they stop talking, or everything they say is blah, 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 I guess, or blah, 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 I think. And it becomes kind of obvious for those of us that have an ear for it that those are compulsions. So what do we do with that, right? I know I'm not a liar. I don't normally lie, but my OCD is telling me, you're a liar. You're a bad person. Let me show all the many different things that you've done that are lies, lies, lies. Well, like everything else with OCD, we kind of approach it the same way. And so it doesn't really matter what your theme is, whether it's an intrusive thought that you're lying or a different type of intrusive thought, we approach it all the same. So if I have an intrusive thought that says I'm lying, if I argue with OCD is going to grow bigger. So if I say, I'm not a liar, why do you say that? I'm the most honest person in the world. I can think of a lot of examples where I wasn't lying and I could have lied, but I didn't. Guess what I'm doing? I'm doing a mental compulsion right now. I'm arguing. I'm weighing out the pros and cons. I'm debating with OCD. And when you debate with OCD is already winning because when you debate, you're doing a mental compulsion and you're growing OCD. So what am I supposed to do instead, Natasha? Well, thank you for asking. Actually, you might want to sarcastically agree with OCD. Yeah, I'm such a liar. Watch me, I'm going to lie. I want spaghetti. And now I'm making a joke of it. I get that it's harder than I'm making it. It's easier said than done. But when we sarcastically agree with OCD, or we don't argue with it, or we just let it sit there, we recognize that that's an OCD thought. Hello, OCD. Yeah, I know you're telling me that I'm lying right now, but I'm going to continue on as if I'm not listening to you because you're insignificant to me. Right? I'm not trying to drown it out or distract myself. I'm recognizing it, I'm identifying with it, and I'm moving on. I'm choosing to not focus on it. I like to be sarcastic with OCD. I think that's fun. I think that's more powerful to be like, yeah, I'm a liar. I'm a sociopath. I just lie all the time. I think that's actually very powerful. Another thing that you can do is stop doing your compulsions. So besides the mental compulsions of fighting with it, which actually grow it, instead we're being sarcastic with it, or we're just letting it sit there until it fades away, like a cloud that passes. I might also want to stop my compulsions. So I may not want to say I guess or I think after my sentences. It might have become such a habit that I may not even notice it all the time. So when I notice it, hey, do you want to go to the park with me? Yeah, I want to go to the park, I think. Oh, I just did a compulsion. No, I definitely want to go to the park with you. I am sure, right? So I can actually fix that by undoing that compulsion and taking away that soft cushioning I think or I guess or maybe. And that can be very helpful. You can even ask people around you, hey, if you notice I'm saying I guess, just point that out because I'm going to stop doing that from now on, right? The last thing I would suggest, and this is like anything else you would do with OCD, is you can do exposures around the theme of lying. So I talk a lot about being on the defense with OCD and the offense. So defense is when OCD is coming at you, you push back, right? So if OCD is like, you're a liar, you're like, yeah, I'm such a liar, right? Or if OCD is like, say I guess, you're like, I'm not going to say I guess. I definitely want spaghetti. I definitely want to go to the park, right? So that's being on the defense because OCD is coming at you and you are handling OCD. We also want to be on the offense. Offense is OCD is not bothering me right now, but I'm like, OCD. And OCD's like, what? I'm sleeping. And you're like, ow, why'd you do that? Because I'm going to shake it up, right? I'm going to be on the offense. I'm going to attack you sometimes like you attack me. And to do that is to do an exposure. So an exposure is setting up something on purpose to trigger your OCD. I know that takes a lot of bravery, but when you get brave and you do these things, it actually decreases your OCD symptoms, which is really what we all want, right? That you can be able to sit in the discomfort of feeling like you're lying. You'll still have the intrusive thought, hey, you're a liar. And you're like, yeah, that thought just doesn't really upset me anymore, but thank you for trying, right? So some exposures for lying might be, one thing that I played in my practice is 2 truths and a lie. And so I might sit with someone and say, let's play a game where I tell you 2 truths and 1 lie, and you try to guess which one's the lie. Now, for a lot of people, that'd be a fun game. But if you have an OCD theme that says you're a liar, that's not a fun game. That's a really good exposure. So get creative. You might even role play with someone in your family and say, I'm going to lie to you right now. And I want you to react and say, oh, you're such a bad person. You're such a liar. For most of us who don't have that theme, that wouldn't really be that upsetting. But if that's your OCD theme, that's going to be a really hard exposure. So get creative. Think of different ways that you can poke back at OCD, trigger your OCD, and do some exposures. If that's too hard, start with defense, right? Start pulling back those compulsions and saying, I think, or I guess, and start talking in a confident way, like, I know I want to go to this. I know I want to eat this. I know I had a good day. And drop the I think, I guess, I'm not sure, because that is how we crush OCD one small step at a time. Well, I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell so you get notified when I make new videos, which is typically every Thursday. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.